Hi everyone and welcome to my latest video. So my name is Matthieu and I'll take you through this video on how I've made these two Iron Man carbon fiber masks. So the one from the rescue armor suit from Pepper Potts and the one from Tony Stark. If you always want to be up to date with new videos, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and hit that bell button as well to get notifications when new videos are being uploaded. If you want to support me, the best way is giving this video a like. So like many of you, I think I've watched the latest movie from Marvel, the Avengers Endgame, and it inspired me in a way to make the video about this. So I'm good with carbon fiber. I already did a carbon fiber mask, Iron Man mask, and so I decided to honor the love between Pepper Potts and Tony Stark, as you can see in the latest movie. So I've decided to make these two masks. So first of all, we'll start with the molds. So I'm using the uni-mould system from Composites, and it's composed of a gel coat, a coupling coat, and a tooling resin. So first coat here, you can see it's the gel coat. So this will be the surface layer of the mold. So where you will be putting the carbon fiber in. So you use a MEKP catalyst. I think it's around 1.5% I'm using. So I've mixed, I think, around 500 grams and then added around 7 grams of MEKP hardener. So it's quite scary. So you coat your entire part with the black gel coats, and then you just apply layer on layer to make a strong mold. So keep in mind that I've used a release agent. If you're not using a release agent, your parts, like your mold here, wouldn't come off. So it's very important to use a good mold release. So here is a second coat. So this is called the coupling coats, and this will create a good bond between the gel coats and the tooling resin coming on top of it. So here I'm just applying the first layer just to coat the surface with a thin layer, and then I apply a chopped fiberglass mat. I think it's around 100 grams square meter, and I'm just applying it with one coat, and then I'm using a roller just to remove any air and just to level out the resin all over the fiberglass. So I think, in my opinion, this is the most important part, because if you're not tightly against your gel coat, your mold can crack and you will lose some bits of gel coat sometimes when you have some air under it. So I just let it cure till it's tacky, and then I can proceed with the third layer in this system, so the tooling resin, and it's a thickened polyester resin. So it's thicker than a normal laminating resin, but it's very good against shrinkage, and it's good for higher temperatures. You can cure and posture your parts till higher temperatures without having shrinkage in your mold. So I'm applying 1% just to have enough time. The more percentage you use, the faster it will cure. But anyways, you will have to leave it to cure overnight, so don't rush using too much MEKP hardener, or you get in trouble while doing this layup. So I'm applying 4 coats of a 450 grams square meter, and I'm just using the roller again to level out all the resin. And then I'm just waiting for it to cure, and then you can start with the demolding. So I just did the trimming with a Dremel and a rotary tool, and then you can just use some wedges to remove the part from the mold. So here it is. So I've normally in terms you call it the plug or the mother mold, and this would be the mold that we've made. So we'll be using this mold to get the carbon fiber pieces out of it. So as you can see, there's a flange, and it's very important if you're using the technique that we will be using in this video called Resin infusion, is that you still have some enough space around the part to add the vacuum bag. So we're proceeding with the next step here. So again, release agent is very important, or your parts won't come off out of the mold. So would be like a small disaster putting all your time into this and forgetting the release agents. So I'm using a 650 twill weave carbon fiber. So this is my favorite weave, and in composition of the 650 grams, because it will add a lot of stiffness to your part with just one layer. So I'm just applying it, and with the leftovers from the trimming are used into the mask as well. So I think you could say it's around 2 layers being used here. So it's very stiff as a part. Shouldn't be that strong for just like a prop that we're making here. But I'd rather use it instead of throwing it into the trash can. So I've applied the peel ply and then the infusion mesh, and now it's time for the vacuum bag, and everything is pulled under vacuum. So that way you get a strong laminate and all your fibers will be pressed together, and the resin will flow all the way through the carbon fiber. So here we're using the Iron 2 epoxy resin from Easy Composites. I'm mixing it with the fast and slow. I think the ratio is about 2 slow and 1 part of fast, and that way you have a pot life of around 45 minutes till 1 hour, depending on the amount that you're mixing, of course. So now it's time to open the resin in. So the resin is flowing in. As you can see, it's quite a fast infusion. The infusion mesh is not coming all the way to the top, just to have like a little bridge where the resin will have to take a bit more time to go through. So that way I always get good results, but many people have different opinions about it, but that's just how I do it. So after curing, so I let it cure for 24 hours, if possible wait a bit longer, but I had to make 2 masks, so I've rushed it a bit. But it should be okay after 24 hours with this mixture of hardener with fast and slow together. So here's the result. So perfect piece coming out of the molds, but we're not finished yet. Still a lot of stuff to do to get to the Iron Man masks that we are ending with. So it's a nice and glossy part, no pinholes. So it's always like until you demold that you can see if the part is good or not. So it's like unwrapping gifts and hoping for the best, but mostly now I get good parts out of the molds. So just trimming it off, and then it's a matter of sanding just to have like a good adhesion. It's like not a chemical bond, but like a mechanical bond that you're creating between your clear coat coming on top and the carbon fiber part. So if you wouldn't sand it, it's like a big chance that the spray paint, so the varnish, will just pull and create like pinholes and fish eyes onto your parts. So here I'm just applying the first layer, so I would call this the base coat, and I just let it go to a tacky state, and then I can just proceed with the following layers later on. So here are the 2 masks. I've cut out the eyes as well in previous shots. I was like hesitating between the 2 layers, like the two eyes, to leave them or not. I just cut them out, and I'm pretty happy about the results about cutting them out. So I'm just using a candy red and candy blue clear coat on top, and that way you can get results like here. So it's a red look of carbon fiber and a blue look, but it's still the black carbon fiber under it. It's just like diffusion of light that will create the effect of having a red carbon fiber and a blue carbon fiber. So this is also a way how I think Koenigsegg and Pagani are making their cars as well, with the colored carbon fiber. So here I'm just masking everything out. So I'm using Collat tape, and this will leave me a nice and sharp edge. As you can see here for the 2 masks, so I decided for the Tony Stark mask, it's a bit more like sharp angled because it's more masculine, and then you have the Pepper Potts mask that is a bit more rounded. So it's quite known that in like industrial design and design in general, that you will get more curved designs for women, and the masculine size parts will be a bit more like sharp cornered. So here I'm applying the gold on top of the red. So the part was first sanded again just to have a good mechanical bond, because the spray that I used was already fully cured before applying this on top. And you wouldn't be able to apply the tape on a semi-wet clear coat anyways. So here's the tricky part, removing everything and hoping for the best that you don't have like paint that went under your tape, but everything went perfect. So sometimes you're lucky and you get everything right the first time. So here we're preparing everything for the last coats. So the golden paint is still like in a tacky state, so you can just cover it again, and I'm just covering it with the clear varnish just to have like that nice and deep gloss that you will see in the finished results. So I've included a few more shots just to show you a bit more. Leave a comment down below if you have some questions, and hope to see you guys in the next video. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.